I'm going to create a brand new composition by going to the composition menu, new composition, and I'm just going to accept my default. And I'm going to import that artwork by right-clicking down here in the project panel. And I'll import a file from the desktop, the awfullogo.ai. Once again, you will find this inside of a folder also called Awful Logo inside of the Workfiles folder. Now that I have this here, I'm going to drag it to my Make New Comp icon. And what I can do at this point is I can right-click on it, and you see we have this option called Create Shapes from Vector Layer. However, we won't really be able to see very much if we don't turn it into a 3D mode. So if I go to my cameras here, all right, and I choose Custom View, well, we're not really going to see any extrusion that we add to this. So let's go ahead and enable the 3D mode right here. And we don't have to worry anymore about the original Adobe Illustrator file that we imported right here. Because whenever we choose to create the shapes from a vector layer, After Effects is going to turn off or hide the original artwork and create a brand new layer for you, as you see here. So at this point, now that we are in 3D mode, we can go to our active camera, go to Custom View 1, and now we have 3D. I'm going to grab my Track Z camera from this little menu here, and I'm going to just zoom in so we can see what's happening. And I can also use my Orbit camera tool and orbit around a little bit as well, so when we do extrude, you'll be able to see that fully. I'm going to go ahead and twirl this guy open. The one thing that we need to extrude is not listed here, even if we click on it. We're looking for something called geometry options. It's a vital component to doing some of these special effects in this version of After Effects. So we have to change our renderer right here to Ray Trace 3D from Classic. As soon as we hit OK, you'll notice something new pop up down here. Now we have our geometry options, and we have some new stuff: extrusion depth, bevel depth, and more. So what's an extrusion? An extrusion is thickness. A bevel is the round corners that we get. Now, if you look in your kitchen or your bathroom at the countertop, you'll notice that the counter is not exactly square, but it's more rounded. That's an example of a bevel. So I'm going to go to my extrusion, and I'll just drag to the right, and I'm adding depth now. And if I go ahead and grab my Orbit camera tool, you see that we have some thickness here. So we've turned this into pretty much a 3D object. All right, so that's just one example of how cool this thing is. Now, as I did mention earlier, we can still edit our shape if we need to. So when I double click on it, I can go ahead and actively change it. So look at that. We have the ability to also change the color. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back to where it is. And once again, with the shape selected, I'll click on my fill swatch, and let's go ahead and change the color to a green. All right, look at that. So we just changed that. I'll go to my stroke menu now, and I can do the same thing. So I can go ahead and give it a solid color. I can change the blend mode if I want to, and more. All right, so I can even click here to change the stroke color. And now I've changed the sides. So this is for your stroke options, and this swatch here is for your stroke color. And now we have taken a piece of artwork from Adobe Illustrator, brought it into After Effects, and in effect created an extruded logo that we can then animate or change at any time by simply double clicking on it. That is how we can turn 2D artwork into vector shape layers inside of After Effects.